Quiet on a set, scene one begins with beautiful woman walking into the room. I call her my beautiful because of her soul. I call her my sweetest because of her heart. I call her my queen because that's who a king deserves to spend life with. She's the jewel of my world, the diamond I've been searching for, the mold of perfection, a model citizen. Tonight is the evening I shall propose. Like, will you be my wife? Yeah, I said it. Spend life ago, love my world, the diamond I've been searching for, the mold of perfection, a model citizen. Tonight is the evening I shall propose. Like, will you be my wife? Yeah, I said it.
And tonight we're doing the season 5 premiere of Her Point of View, originally hosted by celebrity Lily the Goddess and Gizelle, presented by I Said It Management. Angie A. Love, you guys know who I am, a model host. I've done a variety of things from radio, you name it, the list goes on. I was Woman of the Month in Power Magazine. I just got an award recently with, actually got to shout them out, the school, downtown Chicago. Y'all saw it on my page. Harold Washington College. Shout out to the organization. I just got an award for them, an honors award for survivors. I just did that. So I'm doing a variety of different things. Model GlowUp, shout out Model GlowUp, and Power, I was Woman of the Month for them. Also, there's a book out, Female Leaders of the World right now, and that's available on Amazon. So I'm very thrilled. I do a lot of different things. I do a lot of inspirational, you name it. So tonight, we're talking about relationships, good relationships, bad relationships, toxic relationships, relationships in general, whether it's your partner, your friendships, your boss, your neighbors, healthy relationships. And tonight with me, we have the amazing Cindy.
Hi, everybody.
We have Shanta. And we have the amazing She Goes Bananas.
She Bananas.
She goes bananas all the time, y'all. So we love it. So Cindy, you can talk about what you do and introduce.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy Fullilove, and I'm a school teacher. I teach at Chatham Academy. Woo, Chatham Academy. There, and I also teach English. I'm a mom of 3 amazing young people, and I'm also a runway model and former Miss Illinois World Universal.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I am Shanta Renee. I am currently an actress, also media personality. And a little fun fact, I won the 312 Awards Actress of the Year for 2024.
Love it.
Nominated for this year too.
Make sure y'all watch her movies on Tubi as well.
Yeah,
She's doing big things. So make sure y'all keep in tune with her as well.
So I am ChiBanaanas. I am a media personality as well, also a youth advocate. I teach podcasts and produce in the summertime. Yeah, that's pretty much what I am. I'm a big advocate against gun violence as well as mental health. Being a mom of a son that I literally watched slip into psychosis. Mental health is big to me. But I have an older son affected by so that's And those are two of the main reasons why I do media. So, like media is big.
Right, right, absolutely.
That's who I am. Is she Renee?
Y'all should. So as I stated, obviously tonight's topic is relationships. And I always start off always the good because I like to keep it positive, right? So what I consider a good relationship with a partner is somebody who's understanding, somebody who's loyal, somebody who's pretty much your rock. Communication is big when I think of relationships. Even in friendship, communication is A plus. You got to be able to talk about good things. You got to be able to understand each other. You got to be able to, when things are bad and you guys are not getting along, you can still come together. I'm big on togetherness. Anybody that knows me know I'm big on togetherness. I'm like always talking about it on my page. So when I speak of relationship, when I talk about family, when I talk about business relationship, you're not always gonna agree with the person, right? But I just feel like even if you don't agree with the person, does it have to be a thing where you just totally done with the person, where you just back off from the person? That's when it becomes what? Toxic. It gets to be negative, all of that. So that's why I say a healthy relationship to me is when you can come together, whether it's mishaps, misunderstandings, whatever it is, you can still come together and be whole. So that's not just like I said with just a physical relationship with someone. It goes in with friendship, business relationships, all of that, where you can have trust. Obviously, you can't have no relationship without trust, right? That's with business, that's with anything. Also, you need to be reliable. I gotta be able to count on you, right? If you my girl and we cool, right? And I need you for something, like our setting management need me as the host. You know what? I had something else to do, but you know what? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make time. That's friendship when you can be reliable for your person, not just when things are convenient for you, but that person needs you. Prime example. So those are just my ideas: trustworthy, being reliable, being understanding, being compassionate, being real. That's another thing, being real. Because a lot of people are not real. They just around you for who you know. They just around you for your name, or your status, and that's with anybody, even your neighbor. So you got to kind of weigh those kind of people out, and I weigh those kind of people out. So those are my relationships. I normally have good relationships with people. Anybody that knows me know majority are good relationships. But that's just my insight. I want to get you guys insight on what you feel is a healthy relationship or even a good relationship. Cindy?
Okay, well, I think a great relationship is something that's based on mutual reciprocity. I think that relationships, they go two ways. And I think that, the people involved need to have things in common that they like to do, common interests, and then they also need to have common ways of communicating and common ways of, thinking about how life is supposed to go. I don't think that people have to be exactly identical, but I think that it helps if you have similar points of view on many different things. And then also, I think that mutual respect is very important.
Bingo.
We need to be able to talk and agree, and then also disagree sometimes without being disagreeable and without being insulting.
Exactly.
And so I think that these are very important things. And one more thing, I think that understanding kindness, altruism, and forgiveness is also very important.
Big on that.
Because there will be some times when, we disagree.
Exactly.
Something that will happen, but we need to be able to forgive each other.
Exactly. That's why you
move on.
should be able to still, if it's a true friendship, relationship, or any relationship, if you're dating someone, even family relationship, if you have a disagreement like Cindy is saying, that should not make you guys not speak, hate each other, have animosity. You should be able, if you can talk about the good and come together, you should be able to still talk about the bad. Hey, we had a misunderstanding. Let's talk about it. Let's embrace each other. Let's come back basically to square one. That's what made good relationships good relationships.
Yeah, and sometimes this takes time. Sometimes you're not able to talk about it like right away.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can take time, and time does heal all wounds. And, after enough time goes by, perhaps people can come together and work it out.
Absolutely. Shantae, let's give your thoughts on a good, healthy relationship.
Well, I think you both did a lot. I mean, for the most part, everything that I would totally agree with as far as relationships are concerned. The only thing I would add is the importance of safe space. And I think that all relationships, whether it's platonic, business, or at home, there's that space for safety is necessary. And especially as someone who, backing up what you going back to what you were saying about mental health, a lot of people have trauma, and if we're going to cohabitate in the same room, in the same household,
Right.
we have to be able to understand we're coming from two different places. If we are coming from the same type of trauma, which happens a lot in relationships. And I feel like if we have to start giving each other that safe space. Not a lot of relationships like that, which is why they don't get past like 8 months, year and a half, eventually kind of like put, this bridge without guys. So I think that's it.
But adding to that everything you just said makes sense, but I also think boundaries too. Boundaries help have a healthy relationship too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you come from two different backgrounds and we disagree on a lot of things. Set boundaries, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Boundaries protect a relationship.
Yes,
They don't diminish it. So when people know where they stand with you, what your boundary, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not willing to tolerate, we know how to operate and move. But nobody can read anyone's mind.
Yeah,
Nobody's
Yes.
telepathic. They can just see into your mind. If you don't say what it is your boundaries are, what your non-negotiables are, then how are we to know? We could overstep those boundaries without even
Exactly
knowing
without
it.
knowing. That's why you
And
just
then
said the
now
key
the
point.
person is angry, but I mean,
How
we
do you
didn't
know? Set those boundaries. So it's up to that person, even both, not just strictly that person, but you as an individual, whether, like I said, it's a friendship, whether it's relationship, whether it's your neighbors, families, set those boundaries, but let them know basically what the boundaries are. Because like you said, some people don't know, and you just like, what did I do? Like, wait a minute here, like rewind. I didn't know these were even your boundaries.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So yeah, like wait, what? You throw me off.
The person that don't hold somebody's community.
Yeah.
For me, a healthy relationship is everything. A lot of what you have to do. But for me, it's comfort. It's somewhere where you find comfort. But in the same breath, we are indifferent, right? So I think it's important that we learn through forgiveness that you can't always take things personally because if we reflect back to the trauma,
Right.
Things like that. Sometimes people lash out. So, and understanding that for me, I'm a different type of person. I say this all the time because I do things like this very free because I have like this unwavering love for people. I have this unwavering forgiveness. I'm a person that believes like if God can forgive me, who are we to say when someone will change? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want what we want. You get what I'm saying? We expect us out of others.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? That you gotta stop expecting you out of other people.
Right.
You have to- when if we are in any type of relationship, and we talk about the boundaries,
Right.
you know what I mean? The truth of the matter is we can't have expectations because we don't know what may transpire throughout the day. We are never in control. We're always trying to control. But are we ever in control?
Never.
You're never
Never.
in control. Like things happen beyond your control. Your health is beyond your control. So like we're always planning. And we have society that projects what perfect is or ideal. If you get what I'm saying? And so we're trying to fit into this little box. Well, this damn world is fine. It's right. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And sometimes you gotta go around and round and round until you figure it out. Because it makes sense. We're gonna make mistakes along the way. You get what I'm saying? Is my mistake big, smaller than yours? You know? So for me, it's just being someone you can count on, you know. However, understanding that sometimes you're not going to be able to count on that person, and so you get what I'm saying. It's not personal, but if it ever makes you feel, have a conversation.
Exactly, that's a whole
Not
communication.
jump
Yes.
the gun. That's not bring it full circle. Communication, and sometimes we're not on the same page, and it's okay. But respect my point of view,
Yes.
and I'll respect you. And long as we do that, then we're
Okay. I think that we should know what a person's heart is, especially if we're dealing with them as a friend, right? We should know that, okay, this is not a bad person. If they do something to like make us upset, you know, maybe they did it on accident, maybe they didn't know, maybe there's some other factors or something that happened that you don't know about. But if we know, you know, that they have a good heart and they wouldn't do things like that to hurt us on purpose, then we should definitely take that into consideration.
but also know the change. You get what I'm saying? When you're locked in with someone, you can notice change.
Right.
So it goes back to just having effective communication. Right? Are you okay checking me? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Instead of being judgmental or attackful, say, hey, you okay? Because you made me feel a certain type of way, and that ain't you. You know?
And see, that's where what I say the whole
Have fun
boundaries
with
come
it.
in. If you didn't know, if you hurt your friend or family or whatever, that's where the boundaries come in. You basically let it be known, hey, you hurt me, XYZ. That person, instead of being defensive, should be more like apologetic or, you know, kind of concerning or in a way where they're embracing you.
But what if
basically.
they're not? What if they're not?
If they're
Then what do you do? If they're not receiving you and you feel like you gave everything, what do you do?
so in that situation,
You walk away.
in that situation, there's two different people that you either got the person to step back, hey, let me rethink things because it can go left or it can go right. Or you can be one of those people that just immediately went the next subject is toxic relationship because that's where the positive can turn into toxic bad behavior. Now it's a whole mess. So you gotta know, like Cindy was saying, like the person. I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes we think we know people, but when you're put in a situation, that shows you who the person is. You can see the glitz and glam, we good, we good. But what happens when you have a disagreement? What happens when you have a small argument about something, and then now me and you are clashing? That makes you rethink things, whether it's, like I said, relationship, friendship, your neighbor, whoever. Just because we have a disagreement on something, does it really have to go left? Now I have to look at you like, really? We having a falling out over this? When we can really shake this up, hey, you know, this was just a big thing. So it's kind of eye opener in a way for you to realize, you know what they say, you don't know who your true friends are until what? Something has to happen for
But
you to see,
sometimes
right?
all that be pride. We're too prideful nowadays, you know? We don't want to be apologetic, rather play the blame.
You're saying it,
So
yes.
sometimes things are not as we think. It's just some people are wrapped up into always trying to find fault.
True.
And it could be trained behavior. Sometimes we're mirror images of our environment.
Right.
So if all we know
Right.
is this, then this is the behavior that I'm gonna give off. But I love you.
Mhm.
I love and I respect you with everything in me. And you, once again, we just said, we know this person.
Right.
Like, that's why we
Right.
locked in.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So what do you do when, like, you done gave everything?
You got to step back, like Cindy said. You have to step back because if you don't step back, then it's just more bad behavior, more toxic. Now me and you are clashing even more. You have to step back. You know the saying. Obviously, the heart. What is it? The heart grows fonder. Obviously, when you space away, not just in relationships with your partner, but that goes with family. You heard the saying. Sometimes you gotta love them from a distance, right? Sometimes you have to, and that's not like I said. When we talk about relationship, we're talking about all relationship because you go through things in your relationship with your partner, friendships, your neighbors, your family, your co-workers, all of that. You know, and same thing. It should all apply to all, basically.
Let's talk about what you were talking about earlier about the safe space.
Definitely.
So when we talk about how people made us feel we're dealing with conflict, we still need to approach people with respect. We need to talk to them in a respectful tone, in a respectful manner, because communication is not only what you say, it's how you say it. As a matter of fact, they say that communication is 70% body language and maybe only 30% what you say. So if you come at somebody in a negative way or an accusing way or in a way that's gonna make them feel that they have to defend themselves, their first reaction is going to be to defend themselves. They want to win the argument. They're no longer gonna listen and understand. They're gonna listen so that they can win the argument and they're ready to attack back.
A lot of people,
then,
that's what goes on. Sorry to cut you off. That's what's really with a lot of conversations. Most people, when you're in a disagreement, people are listening to respond versus listening to get an understanding.
But it's because we're not approaching them with a respectful tone, in a respectful voice, in a respectful manner. It puts them on the defense. It's not making them feel safe. So we have to talk to each other in a respectful way if we want to be able to get, a better result.
So Shanta, you can probably give an example of what you feel is a safe space when it comes to whether it's a personal relationship with someone you're dating or with, or if it's a friendship, or you can kind of get some insight on that.
Okay, so I was just watching a video actually this morning of I don't know who the young lady in real life, name's like Mana, something like that. And she just got married to a young man. Vegas. Don't get me lying about these people's names, but anyways, they got married, had $1 million wedding, they home different things of that nature. But they look so great on the internet, right? She made a video this morning. This is the part that made me understand what the safe space looks like in a relationship. She comes from a abusive family, and since a child, and she's never been safe in any relationship. So for the first time in her life, she met a man who gave her that space. So now she knows what it feels like to be able to tell it to someone you know. Other young ladies out here to be able to say, this is what you want in a partner. Like the partner can't allow you the space to be yourself. And without no mask, no facade, no makeup, no, but you can be wholehearted with yourself inside out, look at and be able to embrace it, and it makes them smile and not show judgment, like you said. That space is necessary in relationships. I don't think a lot of relationships have that, which is why they don't last. And that's friendship, platonic, all of the different relationships in that safe space. Sometimes we don't give each other that space. It's like the moment you see someone do something you don't like, you judge it and you move on. We don't give praise.
Right. You're right. So I think we should talk about what makes a space safe. It's it's understanding, it's grace, it's not being judgmental.
Yeah.
It's it's knowing that they accept you for who you are. It also is keeping your secrets, keeping private.
There you go. That
what
you just
you're
said a
saying.
keyword. Keeping your secret.
I don't know. Hey, nobody loves keeping no secret. My friend told me if you know something, you should give it to me.
No, that's true
But
too.
the truth of the matter is,
What if your
most
husband-
people go and say something. They say, "Don't, can you not say something?" That person that go and tell somebody, "I want to tell you, but you got to promise on this or that that you're not going to say anything." Or you may use it as banter in a conversation. You get what I'm saying?
That
I'm not giving
happens a
no
lot.
facts.
Yep, that happens a lot. Yes.
So
Yeah.
we got to throw that out the window, because if you wanted to stay a secret,
Technically, take it to your grave.
Yeah.
I kind of
I'm
agree
a
with what
good
you're saying.
No,
I kind of agree.
I think
Because how many times?
Right.
Yeah,
I do.
How many times have we told a secret to someone, or we confided in someone we trust it, whether it's our best friend, whether it's mama, whoever. And they get mad. Boom!
They do in your face.
Not just that, but then you have a falling out, and everybody knows your business. Everybody knows your fault. Everybody knows what you did.
Yeah.
And now you even more furious because what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you say? You already fell out with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's when we come into talking about obviously toxic relationships. So y'all heard obviously about the good, right? Positive relationships. So now we're going to talk about toxic, bad relationships. This is prime example of what could turn into bad relationships. So my definition, maybe different from theirs, but when I think of toxic, it's basically opposite of what all these ladies, all of us have said. So you heard the understanding, the safe space, the respect. You've heard all of that. It's the total opposite. So toxic is not just obviously speaking verbal or coming at someone. Toxic is, not having the understanding, not having respect. Violent can be toxic. Toxic can be gossip. All kind of things in that nature where I see is toxic. And it's just not just relationship with your partner. Friendships can be toxic. The yelling, the screaming, we can't communicate, we can't any of that. It can be toxic. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but some people we have social media relationships with people we never actually seen in our life that may support us, that comment on things. That could be toxic, where they're commenting or messaging you or calling you. That's considered still toxic. I ain't never met you, like we cool, but look, I mean, you still gotta set boundaries. So I say everything that we all ladies have agreed on is total opposite. So there's different type of relationships, right? So what do you think or consider toxic or even bad relationships?
I'm gonna switch gears a little bit, and I'm gonna say that you know how people say we should accept, or they should accept us for who we are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're a good friend, you don't really accept the person for who they are. You try to make them better, because iron sharpens iron. Complacency or allowing your friend to be complacent and not improve, not do their homework, or not do their best in school, not exercise, not eating right, or whatever you see that they're doing wrong. Maybe they're drinking too much, taking too much drugs, or maybe your friend is the one in the wrong. Sometimes you need to say, man, woman or whatever, you were wrong for that. You were the one in the wrong. You shouldn't have done that. You need to apologize. Or you need to get in the gym. Or you need to stop eating that. Or you need to, let's exercise together.
But you know what? That's considered, I would think, good friendship or even good behavior, because when you come to your friend as a true friend and you see that this person has some type of addiction, you should be able to come to them like, look, I love you, girl, but hey, you need to slow down. I love you. I don't want nothing happening to you. I don't want you crashing out, right?
But if you don't say anything, you see that what they're doing wrong, and you don't say anything, and you are complacent with just letting them stay and not God stay, then you're not.
That makes you toxic.
That makes you
Because
toxic.
there's no way, especially if I saw a friend, like, whether they were doing drugs or they super drunk or whatever it is, and I don't even try to help them. What kind of I'm just as bad. I'm just as bad,
Yeah.
So let's get your thoughts on
On what's a toxic relationship?
or even bad relationships.
For me, gaslight.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good one.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, gaslighting, and something that I count like in a lot of relationships, finding partners that want to humble.
Child, you're good.
Humble. I don't know.
They want to bring you down. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, and the reason why I bring that up with gaslighting, they kind of go hand in hand. It's like this form of mental manipulation that they play.
Manipulation. I was
It's
like,
like-
that's what I
Woo!
my key
You up to
manipulation.
Yeah.
And so those are the example of toxic relationships. Just only talk about our own experience.
No, but you mentioned a title of
Yeah.
even I didn't think of that a lot of us go through,
Yeah.
gaslighting. And gaslighting is not just with someone you're dating. It could be like your best friend could gaslight you telling her something that she's doing wrong. And instead of her recognizing it, what does she do? Turn over, or you did this. That's
Oh,
still
yeah.
gaslighting the person. A lot of people do that, even like I said, coworkers, your neighbor, you know, hey, you put this in my yard. Well, the other time you did this, like, where are we gonna end up going?
Yeah.
That's why it's considered, like I said, toxic or bad relationship. Let's get your thoughts.
Toxic abuse. Like,
Yes.
any type of, for me, I think we've taken the word toxic to the extreme. It's a trending thing, like most.
Yes.
And so, when we see things that trend, we tend to mimic it. Take for instance, the couple.
Okay, that
Right.
is, yes.
So, because everybody keeps saying when you drink cut water, you're gonna cut, they cut up. People intentionally drink it just to cut up. They know. Like I watched the video and it broke my heart because it's like a huge group of friends and like before they hung out, they all took videos of each other, putting holes in cut water by and Patron to it, drinking it. And then now once they finish drinking, 2 hours later, it's a whole Royal Rumble at the restaurant that they at. Like, why are we doing that?
That's no one. And after 2 or 3, you won't remember the night. You'll be there. I'm like, this is what I'm coming to understand blackout. For a long time, I thought blackout been happening.
But is it not an excuse to just be unruly?
I believe so.
I don't think
I
it's toxic behavior. You get what I'm saying? You intentionally being toxic. You're in toxic people. You get what I'm saying?
True.
You are not yourself.
That's
You
right.
get what I'm
You know
saying?
what?
So when you are not yourself,
This is excellent.
even in you don't have to necessarily be high or drunk to not be yourself. It goes back to if we're locked in, and you know my true is apart. Wait till there's an appropriate moment to address my bad de-escalate it. You get what I'm saying? Do what you can do to de-escalate it, but don't be condescending. Don't be judgmental.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? This is what creates toxicity.
Yeah, but like you said too, it's also a time and a place to do things too. Because some people, when they trying to check you, they want to check you in front of everybody, and now they're trying to embarrass you, make you look bad. Pull your friend to the side.
And but even if you do that, like, okay, so friend, I'm about to say, you gotta understand. So we gotta understand each other's love.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? And then understanding each other's love language. Like, I swear I have my best friend, I swear. My best friend of 30, we've been best friends 34 years. We've been friends for 35 years. She's our who is that? Ready to go. Cleo. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so
Thinking about it.
because like she really do just pop off. And every single girl that's ever that she everyone, like best friend or whatever, even to the other best friend. You do what I'm saying? We've never had.
You have.
We've never had.
She knows better.
But I have a cousin. I have a cousin like that I grew up with. So everybody in the family never followed me. And you know, I'm thankful for who I am as a person because like I'm a gift. You get what I'm saying? Like I love people who they talk. Right. You get what I'm saying? But I've learned space. You know, when you know who your people are, you can direct them, but encourage them at the same time. You get what I'm saying? Understand that it's really not coming from a place, and even if it is, you know what? I love you so much. I'm not gonna stoop where you are. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait till the right time to tell you how you man be kids. And people that don't appreciate your presence, you have to be okay to let them.
Right.
That's how you do it. You know?
So I'm gonna give you guys an example of bad relationships. Just kind of my own experience, and maybe you guys want to give your own experience, like you've given yours, obviously. So after high school, obviously, I moved back to Chicago with my best friend, right? And we were like, rock, like everybody got like a best friend, right? So this best friend had her own place, we were roommates, all of that good stuff. She had both parents, right? And her college friend basically was a stripper, right? And she was around that. So eventually she became a stripper. And then like I didn't understand why, because I'm like, girl, you got this, and that going on. Like usually you hear the bad stories of why somebody's stripping, like some type of hardship. This girl didn't have no hardship. You had both parents, you had your own place, you had to pay bills, X, Y, Z. Me being around her saw the different dynamic because now you're around strippers, now you're around a certain lifestyle, now your attitude's changing. And the way it changed was it was like now you got different guys coming in our apartment, we're together. Now you're drinking, now you're sloppy drunk, now you're doing all kinds of things. Now that changes the whole dynamic of our friendship. But this ain't the person I know. Like me and you, we had a career plan, we had this, and now because people don't talk about right now. We're not friends anymore to this day. It was just like sometimes people go through things they like, and that's something that people don't talk about. Where you have good relationship, but sometimes it turns into bad or toxic or extremely like it just goes flat. And this is like one example where like you are a whole different person like to this day. Well, not necessarily because people go through. You don't necessarily have to go through a bad hardship in your life because people go through things.
I'm just trying to understand.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So, having different guys in the apartment, being sloppy drunk. The final with me was one night she met some guys online and she had another guy friend come over and she started drinking. I was like, here we go again, girl. She asked me if I wanted something to drink. I said, no, I'm good. I'm probably just gonna lay down and go to bed. Y'all, she started bringing different guys in. And she's like, drink this tea, girl. Like I just made this different tea, XYZ, a friend of mine let me know. I'm like, okay, girl, look, I'm just,
you drink it?
Let me finish. She wanna know why we completed. So, anyways, I'm like, whatever, girl, what you want me to do with this tea, girl? So I drank just a sip of the tea. Like, I don't like how this tastes, girl. Like, I just want to lay down, whatever. I drank maybe a quarter of the tea that she had, and I started to feel woozy a little bit woozy. And that's when, at the time, I had a boyfriend at the time. I was like, such and such. Got a bunch of guys over here. I'm not comfortable. I'm kind of busy. Of course, my boyfriend picked me up at that time. At that point, I was done. Yeah, she put something in my drink. Yeah, she put something in my drink.
Wow.
Yep. So I kept thinking in my mind, like, I don't even think about it, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, if I drank the whole tea and she got guys there, you know what I'm saying? What could happen? But she. Oh yeah. For sure. Oh yeah. We were friends for maybe almost 3 years.
Did you ask her about it? Did you talk to her about it? And that was your best friend?
That was my best friend, but the lifestyle, this is what I mean, what people don't talk about. Like, you can have a best friend or anybody that you feel is your rock, but certain things may change that. Just like I said, my best friend, that was my rock, but then she started hanging with these certain type of people, and now you put this in my drink. Now I'm thinking in my mind now, her mentality was probably to get laid with these guys and wake up not, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful with people that you call a friend because you think you know somebody, right? But you really don't know them until what? Something has to happen. And that's my whole point where, we talk about the glitz and glam of relationships, right? But let's talk about the also bad. And where do we get to that? Like I said, something has to happen. It don't necessarily have to be something bad. It can be just a normal disagreement. How do they react to something that you're telling them? How do they react if if you're going through something or you shut down on them? That's when you really know, like, is this toxic? Is this bad? Is this somebody I need to stay the hell away from?
And
Something has to happen.
I mean, I think it's
Absolutely.
repeat occurs. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes people lash out. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? I'm sure we've all had what they calm down as they crash.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? You feel trapped. You feel no one's listening. You feel you're basically just trapped. So when it's repetitive,
Right.
you get what I'm saying? That's when, like I said, you can give them.
But sometimes take one time. Like I said, I knew she put something in my drink. I knew she did.
Oh,
I started to feel weak right after that, and I called my boyfriend. Like, she got all these guys here that she met offline trying to dance, and I don't want to be around that. But if I'm just in my mind,
I was gonna say that I'm sure
it's a long story. Like it's like a whole nother subject. But
and some relationships are people. I think
bingo,
that we meet people
bingo,
at a certain point in our lives
bingo.
to where we are on the same frequency at some point. Like you said,
Yes.
change. Things happen, people change for the good or for the better. In your friend's case, she changed for the worse. But that's draining your energy.
Exactly.
If you allow yourself to get in that space. You know, some situations like it. For me, if I was uncomfortable having all these guys in my house and I can't get so peace of mind here, I promise you the relationship for me, we would have to end the relationship right then and there. And when the frequency is allowed for us to come back, when we can be cohabitated, then we can do it again. But at this point, though, you gotta go your way, I gotta go mine, and this ain't safe for neither one of us. You know,
Exactly.
and you end up having to.
And I would tell that because I don't know if anybody have had like I had a best friend or even friends that was in the entertainment business, similar to my friend where they literally changed, or I wouldn't even say change, but if you knew them that way, you gotta understand that lifestyle is no joke. Like if you know someone, I've witnessed it firsthand, seeing her like change from a whole career to literally like a exotic dancer to a beat guy to like all kinds of stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Like drugs,
yes.
So so in saying that, why wouldn't we at that moment? Because we are such and although you like your love for her, well, why can't we have like an intervention? You know what I'm saying? Because don't you, just because she's not have you checked?
You should, but when it's something that's damaging, when it's something that's traumatic, I would say traumatic or even bad for our mental health, it shouldn't take variety for you to keep forgiving somebody or
I'm not saying forgiving or
because you can forgive, don't get me wrong, you can forgive anybody that's wrong. And I know you gotta keep playing. But you have to think about your mental stability is number one. Absolutely. And that's with any relationship, not just this super friend of mine, not just her, but just in general. Sometimes reality, ladies, it just takes one time for a person to show you who they are. You don't need a second time, a third time. Like, look, this person, you're gonna keep getting this person over and over again and show you when something is like. But sometimes that first time should warn you to say, "Hey, I cannot rock with you."
That you're locked in with them. How locked in are you?
Are they messing with your mental health? Number one. One thing that I learned, and this is just my own experience, put you first. I agree. Put you first. A lot of people, believe it or not,
The true definition of self-love is loving others more than loving yourself because
I don't care about that. Okay, rewind.
Showing others
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's just operating.
more than show you that you love yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, we get so in tune with ourselves.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we become self. And this is what trends have taught us. And this is why we're broken and divided as a community, as a society, as a nation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we keep on just like, oh, you made that one mistake, but you made mistakes.
I want to ask
So eventually you'll get it right.
But listen. Because I want y'all to think, and I know you've heard, I model, I stand for suicide prevention. That's the subject, right? How many people you know have committed suicide, not gonna love, putting others first, giving others chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, right? That they forget who? Themselves.
Yeah.
They forget themselves, they just give up on life.
No more room for self-love. You said earlier, boundaries. You have to set boundaries with people. And if you keep making excuses for the people that come into your life and they do this, you give them a chance to do it a second time, you're going against your own boundary. Where's the self-love?
Yes.
There is no self-love.
You know what? Because when you love yourself, you ain't gonna dare let nobody treat you like anything.
Exactly. You're not gonna.
I'm telling you.
I'm not saying I'm saying understanding your boundaries.
Yeah.
What you stand for. Standing 10 toes down on what it is that you stand for, but still being true to you. Or from a distance.
From a distance.
That's what I mentioned. Love a difference.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
I still love you.
Right.
I'm not condoning the effort point. I'm simply saying, like, we have to love others in the same way. What
They don't.
you
They
have
don't.
to. Right. When we say people are reason, season, what I'm saying, they come into your life because God knows you were going to teach them.
Yes.
Yes.
You are supposed to give them that unwavering love. Most of the things that excuse my language, not most, everything that we're doing in this world, we're not doing for ourselves. We're doing for the greater God.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
And guess what? You walk away gonna do this. You're gonna teach them a lesson because you're gonna always cross their mind. That person who's genuine,
Right.
They have pure
And that's
intentions.
all I'm saying is on the exit,
This the end. That is the
on the
lesson.
exit.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You can. There are people that never breathe the same air I breathe ever again as long as I am alive.
Yes.
I'm
And
with
I
you.
still
I'm
love
with you.
them.
I'm
My
with you.
friends,
I'm
my
with you.
exes, we don't vibe the same.
You know,
so it's just safe for each one of us to be on.
There's a saying I say all the time. My greatest revenge is my success. I always say that because even if you had a falling out with somebody, I'm not even gonna wish you bad. I didn't wish no bad on you. I still wish you well. You just ain't coming to the hit.
That's right.
Well, but you gonna see me succeed. You gonna see me shine. That's my thing.
God made a very great invention. God made a great invention, and it is called the Fullilove-Adeagbo.
I knew somebody was gonna say it. Yes.
And also, God also gave us vision, wisdom, knowledge, and discernment.
That's
right. We can peep that. We peep that right away. We peep that right away, and we don't let it come into us because we can be cool with a lot of different people, but who we bring into our inner circle, that could be just one person, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being alone. Like I don't have to have any friends. If I have friends, good. If I don't have friends, okay. If I have a boyfriend, good. If I don't have a boyfriend, good. I'm okay either way.
You just gotta be joyous about life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like for me, I think to be a stellar person, and you just always should be looking for a moment to lift the person up, even when they break.
We forgive 70 times 7.
I think that goes with when you say forgiving. How many times have you been in a relationship with someone? I'm talking about with a guy, and you forgave him over and over again for something that he's done, right?
Also, forgiving doesn't mean like going back to him. you forget, like you said, this there.
But how many times have you taken a man back? Let's be realistic. We have. As a woman, I will say I have.
I spent 20 years with a man. Over.
I would say 29 for
What?
Over again, and it has nothing
So we have a question from the audience.
to do with my self-love. It has everything to do with, I mean, and when I say I love you, and we in the beginning, before the relationship, we made the deal. I didn't want the relationship. I wanted to just keep having fun because I was just having fun. But we said, and you know, and played our colors, I would never leave my voice.
Where's Phil?
I just lost them last year on my birthday.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Here's the thing. No one understands why everybody keeps asking me why. With me being who I am, what I stand as I'm a good person. It's not hard to get a man. We split. I never had. I'm not keeping about my personal right now. I'm still thinking. For me, he was always my happy ending. I wasn't him to change for physical. I couldn't stop. The truth of the matter is, when you love someone and they're embedded in your heart, I learned to love them from because, like I said, we split 3 years before we decided to try it last year. You understand what I'm saying? But what I got at the beginning of last year was see, he comes from a family, a hardcore. Some things that I gave him, he didn't know how. And it's not an excuse. Yes, it was wrong, but I made a choice. I chose to love him unconditionally. For me, love is love. Yeah. But that don't mean when it's real, any type of friendship, you get through and it comes back natural. You get what I'm saying? And I think we put expectations on people. We want people to believe. But when we think about from the beginning of the time, you're supposed to see who it is. But we live in a society right now where we say, oh well, if you're dating me, we're together. And that's my mentality too. Like if we freaking that you can't have. I don't know how to not have. Yeah, I don't know how to have.
I mean, you don't do friends with benefits and all that.
Yeah.
Situations.
So
But
we
I
have
don't believe in bodies either. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
So we actually have a question from the audience. You know, because we all talking about relationships and all those good things, right? So the question is, do you magnetize certain people or experiences into your life? This is fun. So I'm say it again. What's the question? Do you magnetize certain people or experiences into your life?
I think so. You bring into you what you are. You attract what you are. Like attracts like. A lot of people say that opposites attract, and that might be true. But I think like attracts like, or maybe what it is you need at the moment comes to you, and then after you don't need that person anymore, they probably just go away out of your life.
And that's why when Shantae was obviously saying earlier about like seasonal, because sometimes you ever met somebody or even like friendships where you were like in a bad place in your life, but once you got out of that bad place, you realized that this friendship or whoever person you're with, it was like no good because you're no longer in that space area. So that was technically
Well,
like you were saying.
the Stoics say that there's something called object impermanence. And object impermanence means that nothing and no one lasts forever. The constant, the
actual constant is change. You know, things are constantly changing, evolving, and growing. You're constantly changing, evolving, and growing. And who you were when you met them might not be the same person you are when right today. And same for them. The situation can change. Their situation can change. Their needs change. Your situation change. Your needs change. What you like, what you don't like. And so, you know, it leads me to question the whole concept of marriage, if that's even possible. Because, you know, you take someone for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. But does that mean that you have to, right? Right, does that mean that you have to, you know, for better or for worse? What if they're beating you? What if they're abusing you?
Yes.
What if they're mentally hurting you? Or financially hurting you? Or
Yes.
emotionally hurting you?
Absolutely.
What if they're cheating on you?
You
What
gotta
if they're taking your money? What if they're making you sick?
Yes.
What if they're harming you? What if they're making you cry all the time? What if, I mean, there's a lot, and you're supposed to like take that? I mean, just because you're married?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
And that's what the whole boundaries have to be in any relationship, not just friendships, but your marriage too. Someone who's just got married, boundaries have to be automatic. That understanding of front boundaries.
So to answer the question, I think that you magnetize, you draw into people and situations and things that you need at the time, but then when you change and you don't need them anymore, or maybe they fulfilled their purpose.
That's right.
Then maybe it is time to move on.
And
that's okay.
I believe, this is what I believe, because we do normally, you know, naturally we outgrow people. But my thing is, just because you outgrow someone, I don't necessarily think it should be a thing where you just to hell with them type of thing. I feel it's still like, even like people now, like I know I would never hang in a circle, I would never, but I still speak, hey girl, how's it going? Type of thing. You don't want to get to the point where like you like, wait a minute, you used to be like, you just forgot. That's why the whole thing is like, you forgot where you come from type of thing, because people don't. Just because I've grown, I'm on another level now, doesn't mean like, look, I still love you. I'm gonna still show love you, but I'm just on another. I'm on another journey.
But you think, but love from a different.
Yeah,
but give them the opportunity to change too. So if at a later time, maybe years down the line, you change too, and we become more in alignment, then maybe there's a chance for a reconnection or a reconciliation, forgiveness. Maybe that might be possible. You know, let's just keep an open mind.
All right, so you guys heard obviously our different view, her point of view, all these beautiful ladies. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Please share. Hey, I'm your host, Angie A. Love, and we are back with season 5, Her Point of View Talk Show, presented by I Said It Management. We are back with the amazing Cindy, ChiBanaanas, and we're finishing the conversation, talks about relationships, good relationships, bad relationships, toxic relationships, all kind of relationships. So we're mainly talking about the main, and this young lady is the main topic of the evening, Shantika. Shantika is a mother of 5. She's a grandmother of 1. She's a beauty supply owner. And her situation is she had a stalker and she murdered her stalker in the midst of him attacking her. And she ended up going to jail, getting arrested, being charged, but she's out on bail right now. This is a topic of today, the main topic, because me being a woman, I've experienced stalking. I'm not sure if you ladies have, but many women have gone through this before of being stalked, being harassed, and you're basically defending yourself. So let's talk about it. One, I'm very sympathetic for her to have to go through this. It's unfortunate, but I also feel like as a woman, we kind of have to kind of make a stance because you're attacking me, you're stalking me, and I'm defending myself. And she's had witnesses as well, and we will share that video with you guys shortly. But let's get your thoughts on this.
I mean, when I heard the whole deal, it took me into what we talked about on Black women being the most unprotected thing. And that's why she had to go to jail for what happened. And I'm not a racial person. I never see race. Like I love everybody, right? But if we speak facts of things that we see, right? The fact of the matter is, if it was a different color skin, she had went to jail for taking care of herself. No, she wouldn't have. She wouldn't have went to jail at all. So I'm saying that to say, I think it's messed up that we live in a country where we understand that she was harmed, and because of fear, it caused her to do something that she cannot take back. Yet we want to penalize her. Did we ever think about her mental state right now? Isn't that penalty enough?
Exactly.
Because she's going to think about that, right? Isn't she going to think about that moment over and over? It's going to replay in her head. She's going to keep on trying to replay. How could I have made? How could I have made a change? How could I have prevented? You know, and you can take all the preventative measures. Taking preventative measures, you know, something that I learned. Right? I have this young man that's stalking me for quite some time, like almost 5 years. And in him stalking me, I changed my. He still has my number, but okay, I'm gonna tell y'all, listen. Back in the days, not it anymore, but I used to do stalking on.
Yeah.
So what I do know is very easy to get you can't down.
Very.
You literally say
Especially
99
social
cents.
media. Yes.
No, even not through social media, like the white thing.
Yes.
You can go to the white thing and you pay that extra 99 cents. Not only do they tell you the address, but it tells you who's the family member that they're related to,
Right.
who they may be related to. You know what I'm saying? I think this things like this happen. So how do we protect this? When someone is so highly obsessed with you that they want to constantly violate your space, call your phone and do shoot things.
Yes, she was. She was sexually assaulted. And in the video that we will be sharing and Flyer will be sharing, you guys will see the actual video of even one of the witnesses saying that this guy was hitting her, like literally hitting her. So it's not like, you know, it was like her word against, you know, the dead. It was this situation of a witness that she doesn't even know who saw the whole thing. And still she's being charged. This is unfair in so many ways. And it's also like you said, like how do we put a stop to this? Like, what are the answers? Because a lot of times, how many times have, any of you may have called the police for something, not necessarily a stalker, but for any situation, and they do nothing about it.
Right.
And now you have to go through a process of suing the city, like most people do. When a family member gets killed or something happens, the police is not doing anything. So what do? We got to go sue the city. We want justice some type of way when they're not doing their job, but we have to literally sue the city. And I don't think that should always be the answer to try to sue. It needs to change.
That's suing the city. I guess the better question to that is suing the city giving them.
It's still not. It's still not.
Money. Every dollar that you spend,
Absolutely.
so
I think
it's
trauma.
more,
It's more trauma. For myself who have gone through trauma, who've gone through therapy, who have gone through healing myself, I can kind of speak on this. And one thing that I've learned with going through therapy, if you have ever been in a situation, whether you were attacked, whether something happened to you in your childhood, any of that, trauma is not something that goes away. Sometimes it can take months and it can take years, and sometimes you basically spend the rest of your life thinking and going through that trauma. Trauma is not something easy. You basically therapy helps you cope with the trauma, it helps you cope. But I want to get Cindy your thoughts. You may have, gone through what she's gone through, or maybe you haven't. But what are your thoughts on this? Or even put yourself in her shoes, where you are being something. You're in the public eye. You're a model. You're a teacher. You deal with a lot of students. You see a lot of craziness, I'm sure. But what would you do if you were in that situation?
Okay, well, this is no shade or no judgment. So first of all, I'd like to say I don't know all the information about the story,
Yes.
so I'm not able to actually make an accurate diagnosis, right? The second thing I would like to say is that my dad has had me in martial arts ever since third grade. So, but one of the principles of it is to not use it. Like, I also went through lifeguard training. They always just try not to jump in. Try not to jump in to save anyone. The martial arts, do your best not to fight. Like I say, like if you want to be right, you can be right. Have it. You can be right. You're right. Okay, I'm out of here. You just try not to fight. So the thing is, just don't be there. Like, take a lot of precautions. And I'm not putting out any shade against her, but I don't try not to go out at night.
Yes.
I try not to stop at the gas station.
This was in daylight. That's
Okay.
another story. This was in broad daylight, and a witness that she don't even know, a witness. And I know that's why we're going to share the video at the end of this, so you guys can kind of see the video and obviously hear from the witnesses and everything else. You can have a better view. But it's just kind of obviously bringing awareness to it, number one. And number two is just getting your thoughts and getting your voice, as we are women who are in the public eye, who may have experienced or even may have not, but just kind of getting your thoughts on if you were in a situation where you were being stalked by someone, like obviously ChiBanaanas.
I would fill out the police report. I would tell people that I know. I would make sure that when I'm walking somewhere, I'm walking with someone. When I'm coming out of work, like from the building, from my work building to the car, somebody is with me. As much as possible, I'm gonna try to be with somebody. I'm gonna try to.
And that's crazy that we have to live like that.
We do. That's how it is. I'm single, and that's what it is. I have to don't answer calls that I don't know. So I'm not hearing anyone breathing and on the phone and all that.
Right.
I'm not answering calls I don't know. I'm trying not to go out by myself. I'm friendly. I'm polite. Hey, how you doing? Have a nice day. Keep it light. Keep it moving. Not be involved with too many people. And just like yeah, and then get home and block them. And just keep the circle really small. But as for if I'm attacked out in broad daylight, of course I have to fight.
Yes.
Of course I have to defend myself. But
so on Wednesday, 9/24, I Said It Management will be interviewing her. So the guys will get a feel of everything. Shantae just joined us again, so you can kind of give your input on what we're talking about. Shantika, the mother of five, grandmother of one, had her own beauty supply store, doing major things. We were basically talking about, giving input on a woman who's being stalked, and she, in broad daylight, her attacker sexually assaulted her, and there was a witness. We will be sharing that video shortly. She murdered him. She's out right now on bail right now. They basically charged her. She's out right now on bail. So we're just giving thoughts. This is one of our main subjects of tonight when we talk about her point of view. This is all you ladies' point of view, including mine, who have gone through the stage of stalking, harassing, going through therapy, all of that. I've been through this. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's unfortunate that she has to be in this situation. I believe that if I'm not mistaken, she is going through the court process.
Yes.
And so it sounds to me like self-defense. I don't know all of the details of her case, and if so, justice will prevail. At least I'm sure we all hope. Yes. On her behalf, that justice will prevail. It's unfortunate someone had to pass.
Yes.
I don't like, I don't to stay away from the single points. I don't know the real
Right.
situation, but in situations similar to this, a lot of times we're put in those type of situations. And so it begs me to ask myself, well, what would I do if I was in that situation and somebody was attacking me in that given moment? Am I going to go as far as to, off this person? I don't know.
Obviously,
and
like you're in the public eye, so like most of us, we're in the public eye. And my suggestion as women, since we're giving our insight, especially when you're in the public eye and you're well known, just like right now, I got mace. You better carry some mace. If you don't have no weapon on you, at least have mace. It's a must. If you don't have security, not all of us can afford security everywhere we go, but I think that's a must.
Yeah.
A lot of times you got to go to the authorities for certain things, make police reports, but in most cases, like most women, nothing really happens.
Yeah.
So
Nothing happens.
So
So it's like you
I
got
think we need
sometimes.
to just talk. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's a shame that we have to take all these actions that just to walk around. Like, what's your quality of life? Like, aren't you kind of like you're already you're living your life preparing for the work. You do what I'm saying? The worst case, when you're supposed to be. So how do we as women come together and change the narrative? Because I know, like, I made a post on the gentleman, but I didn't go and talk. You get what I'm saying? And even when we follow, we have situations like you get what I'm saying? And oftentimes it's the other way around. Take the boy what's his name that decapitated the girl and they still can't find, like, the parents of the burn head, like he in
I
Florida.
think I heard this story.
I can't think of the gentleman's name, but he met this girl. They went out to eat, and then he killed her.
Yep.
And he cut her body up and put it all around the floor.
And she was only 19 or something, right?
Yeah. And now her head is
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but getting back to the avoidance, because martial arts teaches you to avoid all of this, to peep that, peep the long time, from a long ways away. And discernment's gotta come to, judgment. You gotta look at somebody and think to yourself, is that person all the way there? Now people could pretend, right? They could put on like the false personality, but people can't pretend forever.
Yeah.
There's always clues, there's signs, there's signals. There's like somebody just doesn't attack you. I mean, it might happen, but the statistics are like people don't just come out and attack you. usually, yeah, there's some signs on the head, or you know, they've been watching you for before someone attacks you. They've been watching you for a while. They've been studying you. They know your movements. They know when you go in, when you come out. You know, they see if you're on your cell phone, not being vigilant, not looking around. If you're going to the gas station in the middle of the night, or what your habits are, then they know when to wait for you.
And that's why we women especially need to be aware of our surroundings. Just like sex trafficking, that's a big thing that's going on. Just a quick sec, you're looking at your phone, you're not paying attention. How many women are missing right now? Teenage girls.
Right.
Same thing.
Be on the phone, you know, like if you get into an Uber and, you know, tell them like, let the Uber driver hear you, like, I'm in the Uber, his license plate number, I'm with so-and-so, and I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes or 11 minutes. When I get there, I'm gonna call you, you know, or be on the phone, getting out of your car, walking from your car to the house, you know, like let some people know. If I don't call you when I get home in 30 minutes, you come looking for me. Like, I mean, we just have to, you're right, it's the life we live. We have to take these precautions.
It's a jungle out there. I was always told it's a jungle out there.
Yeah.
I don't think life was ever meant to just be like you mentioned, safe space. Safe space is good for, you know, people around you for relationships, but the outside world is not a safe at all. It's not. It's a jungle, literally.
But the advantage that we have now, and that I remember, everybody wants to be first learning now, and so they don't want people to be. But being a woman, you have to allow people, and you have to have people that you feel comfortable, right? So the fact that we have today, we have air tanks that we can utilize, so someone can always know where we are, just as well as the iPhone.
Yeah.
You can share your
Tracking device on your car, all of that.
Always have location, someone that you share your location. You get what I'm saying? And I remember when I first started, a long time ago, I didn't trust at all because I've been raped before, you know, by my person. So with that being said, I've been through some things. So you can, and my name fits me, ChiBanaanas. Like I'm not crazy. You feel what I'm saying? But and if I can shift you just a little bit, let's talk about the abuse. Because a lot of the times the abusers they target certain energy signatures in women. And if they can sense a level of vulnerability in you, they'll take advantage of that. That goes back to that conversation about gaslighting that we had earlier. They'll see those weaknesses in you, and then and they play it in like a game of chess. It's not like they just come out and be like, yeah, I'm useless. No, they don't be like that. They'll dig you up. They'll make you feel like they're the love of their life, and then they pull the carpet right underneath you, so you fall straight face on your face. So what they want in that moment is for you to stay after that happens. If you don't set the boundary, get back up off the ground and be like, hey, I'm out of here. I gotta go. I gotta get away from this because this isn't okay. But if you stay and you give them excuses, then guess what? The cycle continues. Then eventually it gets to a point where the attacks happen. Yeah. And when the attacks happen, if you're still standing around for it, it's going to lead to what happened to the young lady. And I'm so unfortunate that had to happen, but that's what leads to staying. Staying in those relationships in the name of love, but then you have to question yourself: what is love? Mm-hmm. And if love, the epitome of love, especially as humans, I feel like it starts with A. You have to love yourself first if you love anybody. And if you can't show yourself enough love to lead, it opens the space for unfortunate situations like that. And I've been there. And for me, all it took was the last straw, and that was me waking up this morning, looking at my face, and knowing that this is how I make my money. At the end of the day,
we need to prevent. We need to love the block button. All right, we need
to block button.
I'm telling you, what she said. We need to prevent. We need to keep that and prevent it long before it happens. We need to look at the telltale signs. That okay, this guy might be crazy. This guy might just want to be using me. Let's ask more questions. let's have more of a conversation. What do you do for a living? Are you happy? Are you achieving your goals? Are you walking in your purpose? Are you in the gym? Are you eating well? Are you healthy? Have you found a therapy?
But what if they are doing all this?
What if
they
they
are loving on themselves, they're doing great things, they're following their
But
dreams.
someone has you might see something wrong.
Well,
This-
yeah,
probably
you might have saw that person being disrespectful to the lady. That could have been your
There's
word, your
always
first red flag.
signs,
But
yes.
we want to love the person in our lives so much that we tend to make excuses for that. He's having a bad day.
Well, I'm not the fun of my life. No more excuses. I'm loving the block button. I see it, and
But you know one thing, the only thing is what I say with the block button, with the social media, phone number, whatever, that person got your information, they can do what? Make another page, right? Or use somebody else's page.
That's all
They
they do.
still gonna find a way. If you
Take
truly
that.
have a
They got
stalker, well, it's somebody you know or even don't know. Sometimes your stalker is somebody you absolutely don't know. Don't know at all, never met, who's following your page right now. And like I said, a lot of us are in the public eye. And any one of us can be vulnerable with somebody in the business or anything that's stalking our pages or whatever.
But I think that's where your faith comes in. You know, like I mentioned earlier, you have to walk in the faith to know that God is something. And you have to be prayer. You have to pray. You get what I'm saying? You have to have your relationship with God. Because He will protect you. You get what I'm saying? And it's sad that she had to do what she did. But we have to think that how was she able to save herself? She was put in a situation. If she wanted to unalive him, he's been stalking her. She did restraining orders after restraining orders. She would have been unalive. You get what I'm saying? He chose the wrong moment at the wrong time. You never know what type of day she was already having. And on top of that, like I've had it up to here with you. Like I'm not running no more. I'm done running. You get what I'm saying? And so it's a shame that my strong protective moment of myself.
Right.
I have to be penalized.
Yeah.
So what do we do as women?
Eventually you gotta stand. Because that's just like women who are in abusive relationships. Same scenario. How many times you gotta keep getting me upside the head? How many times am I get a black eye? Eventually what? You gotta stand up and fight. Eventually you gotta stand and fight, or you gotta stand up and leave. So there's always an option. Even if you don't go to violent ways, there's always you gotta stand up. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. All right. So when we talk about standing up, we talk about leaving. We have to be empowered to stand up. We have to be empowered to lead. We have to empower ourselves through, in my opinion, because I'm an educator, we have to empower ourselves through education. We have to have our own money, our own home, our own house, our own car, our own health insurance, our own, groceries. We are financially independent. We are emotionally independent. We are mentally independent. And we have our faith. We lean in towards God. We don't need a man to provide for us because God already provides for us.
He's number one provider.
God is number one. Yes. So I'm not disputing that. But at the same time, so if we have all of this in our pocket, it empowers us to leave. It empowers us not to take any kind of abuse, to seal immediately. So the only man that's going to be standing is just going to be one for me. That man has to be a good man, because if he's not a good man, he would have been blocked. He would have been out the way. Because honestly, I'm not going to stand around for anyone to mistreat me, to shout at me, to curse me, to hit me, to act crazy, to manipulate me, to cheat on me, and the list goes on. I'm out of there. You blocked.
Yep.
You
And you know what I love? You said that.
She knows everything.
That's another thing.
And I love her. You weren't really. I love my black women. I love us.
Yes.
And I love our strength. But everything that she just said, and it is not an attack. Please don't take this as an attack. Is the reason for the growth. Because we leave so often. You get what I'm saying? We don't fight. We don't wait to see it through. We want what we want when we want it. But if we learn, going back to our beginning conversations, healthy ways to love on people. Sometimes you have to teach people how to treat you because they've never learned it. Right. So if they have not learned it, they cannot give you something. And no, it's not our job, like you said, right, to save everybody, yes, right? But I can teach you. But but you're not. I'm not saying you're gonna sit down and dictate to them how to do things. You get what I'm saying? But we this world, we were created to have two parents in the home. Yes. You get what I'm saying? So the whole I don't need a man, that's bullshit.
Oh, I didn't say that.
You did. You said women don't need a man in the house. A woman can provide. She can do this.
That's just number one thing. Having God number one.
I feel misunderstood. I think she was trying to say I feel misunderstood.
It's okay. Number one, we're gonna keep things going because this is what we were talking about earlier, how one misunderstanding can turn into what? Toxic. Mm-hmm. And we don't want what? Toxic. That's what we don't want. So you guys have obviously heard our point of view of good relationships, right? Bad relationships. And just so quick how something can turn so toxic, right? So we've also talked about Chiqueta as being the main topic of her situation on what she's going through. So we got to give it up for one another, you guys. Gave some good. So I'm going to give love. We have the amazing Cindy. We have the beautiful and amazing Shanta. And of course, we have the amazing, as her name states, ChiBanaanas. And of course, we got to give it up for our management. So you guys keep tuning in some more. And like I said before, we will be sharing the video and flyer. And like I always say, tune in for greatness.
Quiet on a set, scene one begins with beautiful woman walking into the room. I call her my beautiful because of her soul. I call her my sweetest because of her heart. I call her my queen because that's who a king deserves to spend life with. She's the jewel of my world, the diamond I've been searching for, the mold of perfection, a model citizen. Tonight is the evening I shall propose. Like, will you be my wife? Yeah, I said it. Spend life ago, love my world, the diamond I've been searching for, the mold of perfection, a model citizen. Tonight is the evening I shall propose. Like, will you be my wife? Yeah, I said it.